That was a little abrupt. I didn't mean to click on that. But here we are. Hi. Yeah, so what I was trying to do was paste the live music. And there it is. So we're going to turn it down now. Here we go. Doo-doo-doo. Goodbye. I know! I'm sorry! Anyway, hi Zeus! How's your day going so far? Let me know if I'm too loud. I think I'll be fine. Oh, hey, honey! It's just me. I just barely made it, too. Come here, buddy. Ugh. I've had a busy afternoon already. And I just got out of the shower, which is why my hair looks weird. But I just made it. Sue says, I like this morning better than about 40 minutes ago. Why? What's the matter? Here's my dog. He's excited for streaming in general, but he doesn't really get treats on my stream. But he likes it. Because I make food. And sometimes I drop it on the floor and I give it to him. Huh, baby? Aw, had a fight with your mom. That's not fun. I'm sorry. How's your streaming going so far? Did you end up streaming today? Didn't you say you were going to try to? Or is that later today? How's everything at work, MVP? I guess she won. You got affiliate this morning. Congratulations. Working on your sub screen. Awesome. Good job. Hello, is that a teacup poodle? Yes, but he's big. He was supposed to be a teacup, but he ended up being 8 pounds instead of like 5. Here. See? He's big. Mwah! Yep. This is my dog, Rusty. He loves streaming. MVP says work is work. Oh well. Well, I'm going to put the doggo down. I'm going to grab my recipe. I had a pretty okay day. It was on the uneventful side, which is always good. I can actually have a pretty laid-back stream because I don't have any real engagements this afternoon that I have to be done for. MVP usually streams at like 8, but she's going to a baseball game today. You have a white teacup named Lexi. Poodles are the best. They really are. Rusty is my first and only dog, and he's pretty great. He's 9 years old. How old is your dog? Rusty doesn't like the rectangular treats as much. He likes the sticks. Oh, well, the rectangular ones I got from work, so I just got them to try them out. I'm not sure we're going to keep carrying them, though. She's 11. She's still doing pretty good. I just brought Rusty to the vet yesterday because he has a growth on his abdomen. But the vet says that he should be okay. We just have to keep an eye on it. Okay, where's my recipe? Hi, baby. He hates the vet. As soon as they took his temperature and checked his pulse and stuff, he was like clamoring to come into my arms. Breakfast, 29. But yeah, he should be okay. 29. Amaranth granola, 32. Yeah, poor Rusty. At least he's doing a lot better than he was earlier this year. Rusty has, he's a very enthusiastic dog. Yeah, well, Nana Tara did not assume that Rusty was a puppy, but he or she seems to have a little cutesy dog too, so they probably go through the same thing with with their little poodle. But yeah, he had he feels like he's a puppy, so he flings himself around all over the place and he injures himself constantly. So we had to bring him to the vet in the spring because he was in pain. So they gave him a bunch of drugs, and then he had some digestive issues following that, and he was not in good shape for a few months. But he's doing pretty good now, huh, buddy? You doing good? Yeah? It's too bad they can't see you. We're gonna have to get another camera. Yeah. So we can have Doggo Cam in the kitchen. No barking. What? No, I think you're fine. But all poodles are female, yeah, no. Yeah, he's not a girl. So, I'm glad you guys are here. I am really excited to stream tonight. Like I said, I tried to get everything done before starting, and I think I did it. So basically, I got off of work, and I had to do shopping because I forgot my to-do list at home yesterday. So I needed to get my supplies for today, and like food for the rest of the week. So I did that, and then when I got home, I watered the plants, and I did some cleaning inside, put the groceries away, let the dog out, and then I did my weightlifting routine, and I did like half the amount of cardio that I usually do afterwards. So I still feel pretty good, but I just didn't get to do as much cardio because I had to take a shower afterwards and all that. But so my original plan for tonight, for when MVP was at the baseball game, was to go out for margaritas with my sister-in-law, and she's unavailable now. So I'm gonna do the stream and then eat something and then just go over there for a little bit to say hi to my brother and sister-in-law and my little baby niece, Margaret. So I'm excited to do that, but I really don't have to finish in like a super quick amount of time now. So I'm just gonna take my time and enjoy myself, and yeah, it'll be fun. So we're making amaranth granola with oats and Mexican chocolate, except it's not Mexican chocolate because I didn't have time to go to a specialty grocery store. So it's going to be regular chocolate. And I also wasn't able to go to the store to get some piloncillo. Piloncillo. Yes, I did take 4 years of Spanish in high school, but I could not pronounce the words. I can hear the words, and I can read the words, but I cannot pronounce them. Brenner, MVP, the answer is Brenner. I don't know. That's my answer anyway. So the author says, like maize, amaranth was a major crop of the Aztecs. In pre-Hispanic times, the grain was considered so sacred, it was often used in human sacrifices to honor the Aztec gods. When the Spanish arrived in Mexico, the cultivation of amaranth was banned because the Aztec ritual was condemned by the Catholic Church. Amaranth has made a big comeback recently because of its powerful health benefits and the efforts of health and agriculture experts who've worked hard to bring this grain back to Mexico. My amaranth granola is a delicious mestizo marriage between popped amaranth and oats, which were brought to Mexico by the Spanish. They were blended with nuts, cinnamon, piloncillo, and spiced Mexican chocolate. Yes, hashtag so white. How is lunch and dinner Brenner? Because it's like brunch, but for dinner? That's the best I got. I've heard it used as an expression before. You should look it up. Yeah, but I mean, the only other alternative would be like Mrinner and breakfast, lunch and dinner. Linner? Lupper? Why don't you go with Lupper? Actually, so supper and dinner are supposed to mean different things. So you should look up the differences and determine whether or not you had supper or dinner. I think you had supper, and you're just gonna have popcorn or peanuts for dinner. Yeah. Yay, you have birthday cards. Zeus, is your birthday tomorrow? Okay, so the amaranth has to be popped before I put it in the granola. So I'm gonna start working on that. Look out, Ruster. And this is gonna be pretty fun, but you're not really gonna be able to see the popping occur. But maybe you'll be able to hear it on the stream. And hopefully it doesn't go all over the place when it pops out of this teeny tiny pot that I have. We'll see. And my kombucha tea is kind of in the way. I'm going to put this in here. And let's actually look up at the beginning of the book to see if he has suggestions on how to pop amaranth. No. Even in labor, my mom was an early bird, and I was 4 days early. Ah, there's a dog! Alright, so if I remember correctly from Brandon Brazier's cookbook, I'm gonna look it up. So you basically have to pour some of the amaranth in a little bit at a time, and then it'll pop, and then you have to take it right off or it'll burn. How to pop amaranth. Heat a small/medium pot over medium-high to high heat. Test if the pot is hot enough by adding a drop of water. Once hot, add in 1 to 2 tablespoons raw amaranth, then cover with a lid and quickly slide the pot back and forth just above the burner. Just as the amaranth pops are slowing, empty it into a bowl. Okay, so that's what we're going to try. Sour apple soda? Are you sure that was like a Panera thing and not just Jones soda? Because Jones soda you can buy other places. Your laptop crashed? That's lame. So I have my tablespoon and I have my amaranth. So this is going to take a while to go through, but it'll be fun. Look out, baby, I need this lid. Oh, that's stuck. Okay. Look out, honey. So this is what it looks like before being popped. It's all kind of tiny little granules. I guess 2 tablespoons. What I'm going to do is see how much 2 tablespoons looks like in here. And I might just eyeball the rest of it. So we'll do that. We'll try this much. And I'm going to get chat working over here so I can see it without coming back to the computer. Oops, there we go. Chat is connected. Cool. Did I miss anything? I haven't seen Jones anywhere else. Oh, well, they used to carry it in Barnes & Noble up here. Isn't that funny? In 2 weeks, Dan and I are going to Hershey Park and meeting up with Starbit. Much soda will be consumed. And chocolate? I highly recommend consuming chocolate. Ooh, hello. It's a little Bernie on the burner. Oh, that's because I have it way too high. Okay. Here, let's burn down the house. Alright, we're gonna try this and see what happens. So, I got most of it, but I burnt some of it to the bottom of the pan. So we're gonna have to do this in shifts here. Yeah, towels don't live under it anymore. Would we get insurance money if you burned down the house? You know, I was actually thinking about that the other day. Like, what if I had come home and a tree fell over and it knocked down the power lines at the same time and then caught the house on fire? Like, are we covered for that with the insurance? And I didn't go back and look it up. Okay. And I do have a strainer in here, MVP, don't worry. Alright. So that was too hot, and that's probably because I had turned it on high earlier. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna try this. Try this again. Alright, so this is definitely not going to burn now, so that's good. Okay, I don't think it's burning, so I'm going to keep going. Alright, it did burn a little. This is complicated! So I need 2 cups of this junk. So I think my new plan is just to do a tiny amount at a time. Alright, I think that worked a lot better. Slowly but surely. What have you been streaming so far, Zeus? Did you say you guys are gonna do Sea of Thieves tonight? I think I have the hang of this. Zeus says, I did Lotro this morning. I'm just playing Sea of Thieves tonight. I'm not going to stream the game because I think I might max CPU out. That sounds troubling. MVP, do you remember popping amaranth for one of Brandon Brazier's recipes? It was either that or a Matt Frazier recipe. So, I'm just going to really quickly see if this is 2 cups. Oh yeah. Alright, cool. Yeah, almost. I think that'll do it. Cool. And now that stuff that was stuck in there is all over the place. That's fun. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm going to start preheating the oven like it wanted me to. So, 350 degrees, or 300, look at that. So yeah, that wasn't too bad, but it seems like the best way to take care of it is to have it on medium-high heat and do as little as possible and just keep moving it the whole time. Because if you have too much in there, it'll start burning. I remember having some just for the sake of itself, like teeny tiny popcorn. Oh yeah, this kind of popped and stuff. Cool. It's extremely tiny popcorn. And it's still wicked hot. Oh my god. Oh, these pop-ups. Okay. So, we've got that all set. So, it says we want to line a baking sheet with parchment paper. So, parchment paper is in the other drawer, but baking sheets are right here. Clankety clank clank. Clank clank. Kombucha is very in the way. So, I got this really cool thing at work today, you guys. Can you see this? It's a key. It's all vintagey and stuff. It's actually a bottle opener. It was for one of my coworkers' weddings. There's a tag on it. She got married on Friday the 13th. That's so cool, isn't it? I was so excited to see that. Bye, MVP. Thank you for stopping by. Have fun at your baseball game tonight. Oh, I don't know if you've checked Twitter at all, MVP, but they've totally redone the Fisher Cats Twitter account. You should check it out if you haven't. It's very funny. Okay. So, next step. Whoa, that's a lot of vegan butter. Okay. 3/4 of a cup. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I don't have enough. I didn't see that number. Alright, we're gonna have to just wing it here. So I've got 1/2 of a cup. And I'm just gonna have to eyeball the rest of it. Technically, it's all margarine. They can call it vegan butter if they want, but it's still margarine. Because that's how it works. So I'm putting it in a microwave-safe dish, and I'm going to be adding some sugar to dissolve it in the microwave. And I feel like that's about 1/4 of a cup. So we're going to go with that. And that'll be my stirry spoon. So I need my brown sugar. Yeah, so piconcillo is a like cone of sugar that you shave off of stuff. Piloncillo. You should Google it. They had it all over the place in Texas, but not here. So we're just gonna use brown sugar. 3 tablespoons. And I forgot my vanilla, so I gotta do that too. I actually have homemade vanilla, so I'm not really sure if it tastes as good because I've never had it on its own. I've never tried vanilla by itself, but I imagine it doesn't taste very good because it's just like alcohol with vanilla beans in it, right? So I made this. It was like 2 cups of vodka and 4 vanilla beans. It definitely doesn't taste bad. Otherwise I would have known that much from using it in baking. So 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Excuse me. Alright, so we're putting the butter, vanilla, salt, cinnamon, and sugar in a bowl. So I need the salt and cinnamon. We've got 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Here, I'll just put this over here so you can see it. Oh, thank you. I've been getting my days all mixed up because my schedule at work is a little different this week. I had to work on Monday, which I don't usually have to. And next week will probably be the same. So by the time I'm used to it, it's probably going to change again, and then I'm not going to know what day it is again. 1 tablespoon cinnamon. Goodness. This is going to be some spicy granola. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet after I made the molette on Monday, Tuesday, whichever day. Oh my gosh, it was so spicy. I could barely eat it. I had to just like shove it in my face in order to get it all down because it was so hot. But it was really, really, really good. And I wanted to eat more of it, but I let MVP finish it off. Okay. So, microwave for 1 minute or until the sugar is dissolved. I'm actually going to cook it at a lower temperature so I don't burn anything. And then I need to get my chocolate, and then I have to eyeball my chocolate because it says an ounce. See, this is what happens. This is why they tell you to read recipes before you make them, because you will find yourself unprepared if you do not. But can you really have too much chocolate? Can you? I'm not sure you can. What do you guys think? Is there such a thing as too much chocolate? I mean, if you're allergic to chocolate, then I guess there is, but I'm definitely not allergic. Thank goodness. No, you cannot. Good. Okay. That smells really great. This is bad news. I'm gonna want to make this all the time. It's too bad there's not such a thing as smell-o-vision. So I'm just gonna nuke it for like 30 more seconds. Man, that microwave needs to be cleaned. This is fun. I'm decompressing. Whew. I've been really stressed out at work lately, and it's not anything bad. It's just that, like, I try to do a million things at a time, and I don't actually, like, stop and breathe or think. I just do. And it's very exhausting. So, I have Saturday off, though. MVP and I are going to do something fun. We haven't decided if we're going to go to the beach, or we're going to go to the mountains, or we're going to go on the bike trail. I told her to think about it. Okay, so the next step is to add an ounce of the chocolate and stir until smooth and well combined. So 3 ounces chocolate divided total. So how many ounces was in this bag? 10. So 10 ounces. So yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna do this. Yay, biking. Yeah, so there is a bike trail in the city that I grew up in. It's not in Manchester, but it's like 7 miles, and it goes through a nice shady area. They made it specifically for recreation. And there's a cafe at the end. And they're trying to get them all hooked up together. So there is one in Manchester, and there's one in Londonderry, and there's one like in Goffstown, but they're not all connected. And I think part of the problem with that is that the town governments need to like do legal stuff in order to get them hooked up, and they just haven't reached that yet. So like the whole goal is actually to have a whole coastline with trails that meet up with each other, biking trails. So basically, in the future, you'll be able to ride your bicycle all the way from Florida to Maine, like hiking the Appalachian Trail. Sue says Rhode Island is always expanding the bike path. When I was young, it was only like 11 miles. Now it goes the full way south to Newport and north into Massachusetts. I know, I want to do that too. Hopefully they finish it by the time while I'm still able to ride a bicycle. We'll see. I think that looks pretty chocolatey, don't you? Okay, so in a large bowl, mix the oats, amaranth, almonds, and pepitas. Okay, so I need 2 cups of the oats as well. And then I can start clearing off some of this counter. Dude, that is a huge amount of stuff. I'm not sure this bowl's going to be big enough, but let's try. A third of a cup of almonds. I got slivered almonds because I like them a lot. I feel like they work really well in granola. I think I'm gonna have this for dinner, you guys. This sounds pretty good. Sometimes you just gotta have like cereal or oatmeal for dinner. I'm gonna have granola. Sue says, I want to do the Appalachian Trail, but if there's a bike trail, I'd much prefer to bike. Yes, and one of the pluses to biking is that you can go on the street easily too. So if you don't want to camp, you can bike to a hotel and stay there. MVP really wants to hike the AT as well. But camping is really hard, especially when you don't have all that fun tent stuff. Okay, so also a third of a cup of pepitas. I just got raw, unsalted pumpkin seeds. I'm not entirely sure if it's the same thing. It's probably not, but this is the closest I could get shopping at a really white person grocery store. Oats, amaranth, almonds, pepitas. Okay. We'll use the spoon to mix it first. I am so sorry for the size of my kitchen. I am trying, like, I'm really racking my brains trying to figure out if we can reposition the walls and the counters and things to make it a little bit easier. Not just for streaming, but for living here. But I'm not sure that we can. Okay, so now I have to pour this junk all over it. And mix it up. I feel like this is gonna taste freaking delicious. I used to make granola all the time when we lived in Austin, just because the weather there is just generally warm all the time, and I don't really like cereal. Like, cereal just kind of feels like sugar to me, but granola is heartier, and technically, yes, it's still filled with sugar, depending on, you know, what kind you buy. But if you make it at home, you can sweeten it with low glycemic sweeteners and with fruit, and you can put whatever you want in there. So there was one batch, I tried making some here too. There was one batch I made that was like banana walnut, and I used mashed bananas in it and some molasses. That was very rich and very awesome. Look at how cool this looks, you guys. That looks so cool. Okay, so my next instructions are to, oh, I don't know how to tell. To spread it out, and then we're gonna bake it. And while it's baking, I'm just gonna do my kombucha real quick. The banana walnut was really delicious. I like how the amaranth kind of helps it stick together, like it's clumpy, you know? Like you want your granola to be clumpy. So at the time, I was trying to figure out how to make like more grain-free, like paleo granolas that still clump together. And one of the reasons why they make granola with like syrup and honey and stuff is so that it clumps and it makes big chunks. So I was looking into this, and apparently part of the secret is cooking it at a lower temperature for longer, because they'll stick together. And if you cook it at a higher temperature, you have to stir it, and that's why. So we're cooking this at 300 degrees, stirring twice during cooking. So if we do it for 30 minutes, we want to stir it at 10 minutes, 10 minutes, and 10 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. Oh no! There's pots in there, you guys. MVP has been storing the cast iron skillets in the oven. Oh, this is going to smell really bad. Okay. Hopefully they don't steam too much. This is going to heat up the whole house. This is my bad, too. I should have remembered that they were in there. Whew! Alright, Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. She didn't hear me. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. Okay, we're good. Whew. Now I have these little heaters right on my oven. Super hot. Don't you love it when that happens? I mean, storing them in the oven is a great way to keep them clean, because basically when you're done with them, you rinse them out and get all the gooey gunk out of them, and then you dry them off with a towel. But we don't have a place to keep them where they won't get covered in dust and cat hair, because the cabinets are literally full of other things. So it's a great thought, but when you forget that they're in there because you don't do baking very much, you run into situations like this. Alright, so we're going to let it cool eventually and then mix all the other things in. So I'm basically just going to measure those things out now so I can get them off of the counter. So the rest of it is a half a cup of raisins and a half a cup of coconut flakes, which I still need to get out of the pantry. There we go. So I don't know if you know this, but MVP also hates raisins. So she might not like this granola very much. Eep! Ah! No! Can you guys see me with all this stuff collapsing on me? So much fun. Ah! Okay. You too can support the stream to encourage us to have the money to buy a house with a bigger kitchen. Just kidding. We'll never be able to afford to buy a house that has a bigger kitchen. Unless we win the lottery. I actually like my house a lot. It's small, but that means I can clean all of it really easily. And if anything bad happens to it, we're more likely to be able to fix it. Because it'll cost less, in theory, than a big house. Also, I don't know if you've ever had to pay a heating bill before, but oil is freaking expensive. Like, so this house is 800 square feet, and it costs about $400 to fill up an oil tank. And the first year we were living here, we had to do it once a month. So there's that. It was extremely cold. This past winter was a lot better. And in the spring, it was even so mild out that they stopped coming. Like, I have auto delivery set up so that I don't forget. Well, apparently we were doing so well that they just didn't bring us enough, and we ran out, and poor MVP had to take a cold shower. Like, she was in the shower when it ran out, so it started hot, but then it just got cold, and she was all soapy and stuff. Electric heater, come on. Okay, so my dream is actually to switch over to ductless mini split heating and cooling, because they cannot easily retrofit a house to having ductwork. So like in Texas, we had, you know, central air, and it was perfect. I loved it. But they don't, like, this house was built in 1950. So we did have a guy come out and give us a quote, and it's pretty affordable. With the amount of stuff that he was talking about, like the first option was like about $6,000. We just haven't made that investment yet. So, yeah, that would be like one of our sources of heat, and then we would have like electric baseboard or space heaters. The people who gave us the quote claim that it's not a great source to rely on for your only source of heat, but I don't know. They say that it's a lot more expensive than using oil, but the fact that you have to pay like $1,000 to get your boiler cleaned every year, that just adds to it. So it's like $300 to $400 a month when it's, you know, in the 20s all winter, and then you have like $1,000 to pay, it's supposed to be, every year to clean your boiler or your furnace. How much more money could it possibly be to have electric heat? I just don't feel like it would be that much. Trying to get more money out of you. Yeah, probably. Don't believe them. Well, yeah, like I was saying, so we have a friend who has a lake house. So she's already on the lake. It's already colder. Big heater is out to get you. And that's all she has. She only has mini splits. They might have a pellet stove, but that's it. So, unfortunately, we don't have room for a pellet stove. We really wanted one. I mean, maybe if we get like a teeny tiny one and put it somewhere really inconvenient and get even smaller furniture, that might work out. But those are things for the future. So, these are the rest of my mix-ins. Which, unfortunately, we can't mix in until it's completely cooled, otherwise the chocolate will melt. But that seems like it. So I can't wait to try some and tell you how it is. Use the oven. I don't think that's responsible as a main source of heat. If you mean like in addition to, then yes. Yes, this is raisins. This is a bowl full of shredded coconut, raisins, and chocolate. I'm making amaranth granola, which is a recipe out of this cookbook. Here, which you can't see. Here you go. It's a really great book so far. Everything is extremely spicy. But this is probably going to be on the mild side. So yeah, while that's doing it, I'm going to bottle some kombucha because I do that every couple weeks. It's been a while since I did that on stream. And welcome to the stream, Viali. I haven't seen you in here before, so welcome. What brings you in to the stream today? Is it the kombucha or is it granola? Or my awesome Darth Vader shirt? I'm pretty sure that Zeus is here for the Darth Vader shirt. Raisins suck. Yeah, MVP doesn't like them either. That just means more for me. Okay. You don't know what kombucha is? Okay, so you're in for a treat. And Zeus says he's here for the food, convo, and fun. And I work here, yes. Hello, everybody. Zeus is my mod. I came into streaming because I hung out with a bunch of streamers, and they're like talking about food all the time. And then I'm like, oh, hey, I know how to do that, and blah, blah, blah. I like to cook. And they're like, hey, you should do cooking streams. And that's how we ended up here. So, kombucha is a probiotic beverage. It's a fermented tea that's pretty sweet. And it's basically just good for your digestive system. And it has a lot of B vitamins and trace minerals and electrolytes, amino acids, and antioxidants. So I started making kombucha at home because I liked drinking it so much. Oop, it's time to stir. Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. She can't hear me because the air conditioner is on. So this is one of my favorite parts of making granola. Let's see the stirring. That's probably good enough. Alexa, timer, 10 minutes. Okay, yeah, kombucha. So, it's basically, it tastes like a vinegary beverage. And a lot of people don't like it because it's vinegary, but I love it. It's really cool being able to make something at home that's like soda, and that's, I think, part of the appeal for me. And I've been making it for about 1.5 years now. I've actually given demonstrations on how to make it twice locally at the New Hampshire Veg Fest. And it's just fun. And you're in for such a treat when I show you what it looks like. You're gonna think I'm insane, and you're gonna leave because it's gross. But you don't want to do that. If you haven't had it before, carbonated water. Well, yes, but it's carbonated tea. But it doesn't taste like tea. It's very tangy. Do you eat any fermented foods like sauerkraut or anything like that? Because the appeal is very similar. I need a lid. So what I'm doing right now is sanitizing my storage containers. I'm just using regular white vinegar. And the reason I'm doing that is because the kombucha needs to have a specific pH in it to stay safe. Because if it doesn't, it could grow mold inside. Which I know also sounds so horribly appealing. But I really feel like the benefits of consuming it outweigh the risk, especially considering the fact that when you prepare it the way it's supposed to be done, it's totally safe and nothing bad will happen to it. So here you go. So this is what it looks like while it's growing. So basically in here is sweetened tea. There's a live culture inside, and it's basically eating the sugar, creating carbon dioxide, and creating bacterial cultures. So, and I don't have my little bowl. So, like I was saying, I kind of started off kind of frazzled because I was trying to do a million things before I started. So I'm a little out of sorts getting ready. So I don't have everything. Alcohol. Well, it can be, but it's not. It's not alcoholic enough to be considered an alcoholic beverage. That's why you can buy it at the store without needing to be 21. So this thing that I just pulled out here is called a Scobie. It's a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. It's not a living organism. The living organisms are in here. The Scobie is just a byproduct. Look at how fizzy this is. So yeah, it's not alcoholic. It has trace amounts of alcohol. So like anything fermented, as it ages, it has trace amounts of alcohol in it. So like yogurt, kombucha, kefir, sauerkraut, pickled beets, pickles that are actually pickled, they all have trace amounts of alcohol in them. Okay, so basically all I'm going to do is pour all of this into these bottles, and I'm going to save about a half a cup to make my next batch. And that's it. And it's going to be super messy and get all over the place. It just makes such a lovely fizzing noise. Zeus, have you still not had any kombucha? So, true story, I work with a girl who used to work at basically a kombucha bar in Florida. They, started out just making kombucha like as a manufacturer. They opened up a little restaurant and then started selling ramen there too. So it was like noodles and kombucha. And she's in recovery. She's a former addict, and she's not supposed to have alcohol on the program. She's very familiar with the fact that it's fermented and has trace amounts of alcohol in it, but it's, part of her program says that it's acceptable. It's perfectly fine to consume it because it's not an alcoholic beverage. So when she was working there, she used to drink like 8 or 9 cups of it a day. And then they did drug testing. She was living in a clean living facility. They did drug testing, and they told her that she was coming up hot on the drug tests. So eating or drinking that much of it will definitely put some alcohol in your bloodstream, but it's not going to give you a buzz. You can definitely continue to ferment it and add yeast and add sugar to it to make it into wine and beer and stuff, but most people don't do that. It's very time consuming and it's very hard work. There's actually a company in Vermont that makes kombucha. They use some sort of centrifugal vortex machine to extract the alcohol from their kombucha before they bottle it or keg it. And they sell the alcohol separately. It's like vodka. They call it aqua vodka because it's basically water vodka that they make from the kombucha. Isn't that crazy? So it's kind of a shame I don't have another just bottle. It's okay. It happens all the time. So I'm just going to make sure I have enough left for this. And then I'm going to pour all the rest of this into that last container, which is going to be the perfect amount. Awesome! Oh, one of my, the same friend who has the ductless heating, she said she saw on TV the other day that kombucha might also have hyaluronic acid in it, which is really good for your joints. So she thinks that's one of the reasons why I was having a lot of joint pain last year, and the doctors couldn't find anything wrong with me. But she thinks that's part of the reasons why I'm not having any joint pain anymore, is because I have kombucha pretty regularly. So I'm basically just pouring in another batch of sweet tea. So I brewed 4 cups of water with 4 tablespoons of loose leaf black tea, and I steeped it for about 6 minutes, and then I some sugar dregs in here. I sweetened it with a cup of sugar. And now, can you see my pile of dishes? No. I'm gonna add my water. And it's time for more stirring. I just eyeball this part. You want to do like 8 more cups. Alexa, stop. It's starting to smell like granola in here, and I'm really excited. Let's see. It's starting to clump together. Yeah. It's still very moist. We might have to bake it for longer, actually. Maybe I put too much butter on it. since I just eyeballed it. It smells really good though. Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. Oh, she actually heard me today. Okay. Alright, so I put my water in here. And now, I'm going to test the pH in the event that, for some reason, it became super horribly acidic. Oh, wow. Wait a minute. No. I still have to add the original culture first. You just found the best thing for your sub screen? Oh, yeah? It's so you. Does it involve a cooking show host? That's my question. Wow, this is actually pretty great. Okay. I'm still going to add a tablespoon of vinegar, but it's very close. We want it close to 4. Where'd my tablespoon go? I guess I already put it away. Okay. No Guy Fieri's not there. That's sad. Apologies if I hit the table. Oh, that's a fork. You should totally have one for an alert. Alright, let's try this again. So I want it to be between 4 and 5. And that definitely looks more like 4. 4 or 5, okay, good. So now that it's safe for the live cultures, I'm just going to put one of the Scobies back in. I used the one that's on the top. That's considered the newer one. It was just recommended to me a long time ago, and that's what I've been doing. And it's been producing really consistent results that I'm pleased with. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. So I've had people tell me that I should keep the Scobies and use them on my face for my skin. And I haven't done that yet because they smell really strongly of vinegar. But one of my friends was telling me that I should consider keeping them, dehydrating them, and then putting them in lotions and stuff. For beauty products. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not really a beauty product person. Like, I clean my face and I moisturize. And that's pretty much it. Okay. So yeah, and then you just let this thing sit for 2 weeks and then you do the same thing over again. That's all you do. You don't have to stir it. You do have to heat it in the winter if you're in a cold climate. And then if you don't have air conditioning in the summer, you want to try to keep it cooler than the rest of your house. But that's the hard part. Oh, hey, Desert Owl. So we're in the middle of making the granola. So I'm basically just bottling my kombucha in the meantime. So I did the bottling part, and now I'm just going to do the flavoring part. And I think I'm just going to put a bunch of dried herbs in there. So I have my elderberries, so I'm going to do a bunch of those because I really like the elderberries. So we'll do 2 of those. I think I'm just going to use my fingers to put them in there. How's your day going, Desert Owl? I like to do about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of the dried elderberries. It just gives it like a nice extra sweetness to it without being too strong. Eep. Ah! I'm gonna have to sweep afterwards because I keep dropping these on the floor. And I don't want Rusty to hurt his little teeth. So, what else do I have? I do have ginger. I guess I'll do some lemon gingers. I don't know where all my teaspoons and things went. I definitely have not been cooking, so they just disappeared. Well, maybe I'll just eyeball this too. Okay, you guys feel like this is 1/4 teaspoon? It's compacted a little bit. I feel like that's pretty close. Sorry for the light. So 1/4 teaspoon dried ginger, and then I'm going to put a tablespoon of lemon juice in there. This is the type of kombucha that I drank on my way home from work today. I've been just bringing the bottles and a strainer and this fancy new cup that MVP bought me on Prime Day. And just straining it in there. Look, it's huge! It's called a Beast, and it's this nice, beautiful color. So yeah, lemon ginger is like my favorite kind. My favorite kombucha! And I think I'm just going to put some cinnamon in the last one, and maybe some apple juice. If I still have the apple juice. Lemon juice and apple juice. Desert Owl, I know that you and Cookie bake and stuff, so have you ever made granola before? Oh no, I don't have any lemon juice. Crap. Do you think lime ginger would be pretty good? We're gonna have to try it out. I actually love making granola. I haven't done it in a really long time though. Are we having fun today? I'm having a blast. You have made it before? So the one that we're making is sweetened with brown sugar And I'm so tangled with my cord here. Okay. Brown sugar, and it has margarine in it for a fat. I've made it with maple syrup before, like granola with maple syrup before, and that was really tasty. But I haven't really made it with other sweeteners before. Like, I've never made granola with sugar. Like, who does that? That seems a little decadent to me. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, alright. Alexa, stop. Eep. Okay. It still seems a little wet on this side. And I'm hesitant to bake it for too long because I don't want it to burn. But I think I'm going to have to. Let's see what the cookbook says. It just doesn't specify. I think it's probably fine. The almonds are very crispy. Okay, I think I'll be good. So I'm supposed to let it cool completely. Before I eat it. So, I don't know. I really want to show you guys the finished product. But that is all I had planned for today. So, I guess what I'll do, how about I scoop some of it in a bowl? Actually, I could probably scoop all of it into a bowl and then put it in the refrigerator for a little bit. Why don't we do that? Had to flip the fish. Desert Owl, have you ever used amaranth in a recipe before? I had to pop all of this amaranth myself. I actually enjoy it. It's pretty fun. We've only done it like once or twice before. We had another recipe for something similar a few years ago that we popped it for. So MVP and I have been trying to do like healthy living stuff for a few years, and we've made some really, really great strides in terms of the amount of stuff that we're capable of doing and our level of commitment. And the popping amaranth thing was one of the first things that we did, like when we first started trying to be healthy and like bought fitness books. It's like an extremely nerdy fitness thing to do, I think. But it is wicked fun. We'll need to talk AFK in about 5-10 minutes. I don't know if I'll be here for the end. And it seems like Twitch doesn't like you today. Okay, Zeus. And what's the matter, Desert Owl? You having trouble with something? Okay, so I'm just gonna put this in the refrigerator for a little bit, and hopefully that'll cool it off enough that we can mix it all up, and then I can eat some. and tell you what it tastes like. Zeus says, think I got the OBS scenes all sorted. Prepping for tomorrow is more work than anticipated. I bet it's going to be so exciting with all these reveals of things. People are going to be so jazzed. So what time are you streaming tomorrow, Zeus? I have a hair appointment at 3:30. I have to work until 2, and then I have a hair appointment at 3:30. And, come home. I have to make a bunch of phone calls. I hate making phone calls, and you would think that in this day and age you can just get all of your scheduling stuff done via email, but people are still jerks about it. It's really frustrating. Multi with MVP at 8 o'clock. Cool. Whoop! I just splattered all over the place. I tried watching the multi-stream, the last one that she and Dex did, but I don't know. I couldn't do the multi-stream thing. I'm gonna have to try it again, obviously, but it was very challenging for me. So Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes. So, while we're waiting, let's take a look at the rest of the streaming schedule. Look at how different the lighting is here now that the sun is in a different window. There's a certain layout of multi-stream that makes it easier to watch. And Desert Owl says, you would think that, but in the area I live in, only around 60% use email at all. Ugh. Like, I work, 45 to 48 hours every week, and then when I come home, I want some me time. I don't want to have to play phone tag with a bunch of people who don't have their acts together. Ugh. Okay, so let's check out what I have on the calendar. Okay, so next up is going to be Monday, the 23rd at 4 o'clock, chili roasted peanuts and Mexican seitan. So, the chili roasted peanuts, 67, are going to be a fast recipe that I'm going to make while the seitan is cooking. Peanuts, chili roasted peanuts, page 70. Chili roasted peanuts could be considered the ultimate snack food. Not only are they quick and easy to make, but they're also packed with protein and can be made way ahead of time for any occasion. So basically what I'm going to do is make the same type of thing but with peanuts. So we're going to toss the peanuts with some chili powder, chipotle powder, paprika, peanut oil, salt, and lime juice, and then we're going to roast them. That sounds great. Zeus says I have a command in my channel set up already. I'll get it to you so you can check it out. Cool. Desert Owl does roast his own peanuts and pecans. So it looks like these are going to be in the oven. I like to toast nuts in pans. It's really good that way, but I haven't done it in a long time. Okay, so staples, 222. So for you guys who are not familiar with vegetarians, seitan is a meat substitute that's made out of wheat gluten. And it's pretty good. I've made it at home many times before, but not with this recipe. So Mexican seasoned seitan is $2.39. And you can make it a couple different ways. So basically what we're going to do with this one is we're going to mix all of the dry ingredients in a bowl, add some water, and then start kneading it until it becomes tough and elastic. Then we're going to boil it in some vegetable stock. And it's going to cook for 1 to 1.5 hours. So I might need to come up with a couple more things to do during that stream. Viali says satin is fabric. No, not satin. Seitan. See? Seitan. I might not be, but I hope to be. We'll see how long I can entertain you folks reading about food. Would you be interested in a tip to give peanuts a bit more of a peanut flavor punch? Sure, knock me out. So what else could I add to the stream for that? Let's go to drinks and desserts and see if there's maybe something like a cheesecake. Ooh, fried tortillas. You know what? I have a great idea. I started watching this show on Netflix called Nailed It, and it's basically where people try to make like fancy things, but their culinary experience is on the lower end of the spectrum. So thank you for the follow. Again, welcome to the stream. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're having enough fun that you want to follow me. Desert Owl says, spritz them with just a fine mist of peanut oil just before roasting them. You know what? This recipe in here for the roasted peanuts says to use peanut oil. Isn't that funny that you mentioned it? I guess it's a really great tip. Thanks. Hey, don't bark. Shh. You don't have to bark. It's okay. Anyway, so I was watching Nailed It, and they made donuts, and you're gonna love this, okay? Out of pizza dough, like refrigerated pizza dough. They let it thaw, and they let it rise, and then they fried them. So I want to try that. So maybe that's what I'll do. So while the seitan is boiling and doing its thing where it turns into like meaty stuff, maybe I'll try that and see how it goes. Does that sound like a good plan? You guys want to see me try to make some donuts out of pizza dough? I think that would be fun. Here, I'm going to add it to the calendar right now. So yeah, if you aren't already, you can add my Google Calendar to your own. So when you're looking at your appointments, you can also see what I'll be streaming on that day. Donuts. No. Pizza dough donuts. Okay. So if you're on Twitch right now, you can just scroll down. There's a link. And you can also do !calendar, and that'll bring up the calendar in the chat. And Desert Owl apparently makes donuts from cans of biscuit dough. That's also a great idea. Somebody else had recommended to me using like crescent roll dough, which is probably pretty similar. You want to come back up here? Come here. Oh, doggo. Hey, you're gonna crush my microphone. Hey, stop. You're okay? Where are you going? Can I help you? Here. Here you go. The only thing is that I don't have any recipes for frosting for said donuts, so I'll have to work on that too. What is your deal? Oh my god. Hi. Hi. Stop. What? Somebody must be lonely. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you're okay. It's alright. It's alright. You're a good boy. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do that in the meantime, because basically I'm gonna start making the seitan, and then I'm gonna make the peanuts, and then I'll still have like a half an hour to wait before it's done boiling. So I'll just do that. And then I'll have donuts to eat for breakfast during the week. That'll be amazing. So great. What do you think, Rusty? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at my Desert Owl says works well, just toss them in cinnamon and sugar as soon as they come out of the oil. Yeah, I think I might do that. I do have another USB over here, I think, if I wanted to get another webcam for the floor for the dog. But he doesn't stay in here. So it's tile in the kitchen, obviously. And he doesn't like the tile, he likes the carpet. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. What? No. Do you have to go potty? Okay. Alexa, stop. Oh, we're running low on the microphone too, you guys. Go potty, Rusty. And now he's barking at the neighbors. That's always fun. Alright, so I'm going to check and see if this is cool enough to mix some chocolate into. It's still kind of on the warm side. But I bet if I mix it in, take out the amount that I want to eat, and then put some milk on it right away, it'll be fine. So let's try it. Are you done? All right. Pressure's on. I know, we're gonna put the rest of it back in the refrigerator. Hurry! Okay. So, let's try it. And of course, I need to go in here to get another spoon. Okay. Look out, Rusty. It's pretty good. Desert Owl misses eating granola. So did you stop eating granola? Like, is there a problem with eating granola? Is it secretly destroying us? And I'm not knowing about it. I'm gonna turn the music up a little bit. This is actually pretty good. So I can see where if I used the Mexican chocolate, it'd be spicier, but this is delicious. And I was really worried about the amount of cinnamon that was in it, the whole tablespoon. But it's really, you can't really taste it. It's just delicately spiced. Most of the grains in it are on my no list for gut problems. I thought oats were pretty easy on your guts. It says oats and amaranth, so maybe you should try that out. I don't know if you can pop quinoa. Quinoa is usually pretty safe too, isn't it? I also feel like it probably could have toasted for a little bit longer. But it was very tasty. I thought it was pretty easy to make. It's good. So, thank you guys for coming. And, here, I'm gonna bring up the calendar. And if you want, you can add it to your own. I also have, a link to the book that this recipe came from. No, it's not an affiliate link, because I'm not an affiliate. It's just a regular link. Desert Owl says oats and almost all whole grains are forbidden to me. Borderline celiac. Oh, that's unfortunate. Mata. Hey, what's up? So I just finished making the food that I'm going to be making. And, I was thanking everybody for coming. I'm actually going to find somebody to go raid. And I'm going to take off. So, the only person I'm following that's doing food right now is the Hunger Service, and he's making sous vide ribeye. Before you go, I have a question. Okay. Is it about my awesome Darth Vader shirt? Or is it about kombucha? Why are cookies cookies and bacon bacon, but you can't cook bacon and bake cookies? But you cook bacon and bake cookies. So, that's like a philosophical question, and I don't know, man. Why are cookies cookies and bacon bacon, but you cook bacon and bake cookies? I like that. That's funny. Good job. Does anybody have an answer? Maybe you can help shed some light on that, Desert Owl. Do you have an answer? So yeah, I think we're just gonna raid the hunger service because I really like his stream. And I have no idea what a sous vide ribeye is, but I'm sure it looks delicious. So LA is a professional photographer who used to be a sous chef, and because half the words come from Gaelic and half of them come from French, that's probably the right answer. But yeah, so again, for those of you just tuning in, the recipe of the granola I made is from this cookbook. And if you like the stream, please consider following. I'm going to roll the credits and thank everybody. And then we're going to raid the hunger service. And I don't have any special emails or anything, but he knows who I am, so it'll be fun. So thank you guys so much for coming. And I hope you liked watching the stream. And we will see you on Monday.